So, some interesting news when it comes to WWE 2K20, and this might be old news, but it is new news to me, so we're going to talk about it here on the channel. But apparently, Eli Drake, you know, the guy that used to call people dummies on Impact Wrestling, has done motion capture for 2K for several years. Now, this is news to me in itself, and I will put the question out there because I've always been curious of this. Why do 2K enlist the help of talent outside the WWE to do their motion capture? What's the reason behind it? Now, I do know that they do bring in talent from WWE to do motion capture as well, but over the years I always see talent from outside the business come in and do the capture. And now we're finding out that Eli Drake has been doing this for a number of years. And Eli Drake was doing an interview and he dropped a bombshell about one of the superstars that he was doing motion capture for. So he name dropped. So I think this is very interesting, and like I said, let me know about that question. That's just one for my personal preference. I just like to know if you know why they do that. Please do enlighten me. But I'm going to read you an extract from this article which is taken from the interview, and then I want to get your views and opinions on it, because it said this. While recounting some of his time there working with 2K, he said that one of his favourite entrances to recreate was a recent one in Hulk Hogan, and saying this: "One of my favourite ones that I just did, it's not going to be out until probably 2K20, Hulk Hogan. Old school entrance, the best. That was a dream come true." So that's what Eli Drake is saying after he's done some work with 2K. And it is interesting because we've had rumours about a Legends entrance, a big budget Legends entrance which incorporates lots of legends and also current day superstars, and it sounds like it's trying to replicate the NFL commercial which we've seen, and I will link that as well because I've linked it in my previous video. It's a very cool commercial, and if 2K can recreate anything like that, it could be very fun to watch. So apparently 2K are going to be spending big bucks on a big money commercial featuring legends and current superstars, and one of which was rumoured to be Hulk Hogan, and now we've got Eli Drake mentioning the Hulk Hogan entrance capture. So it seems to, you know, be building and building that Hulk Hogan and the return of Hulkamania will happen in WWE 2K20. Now, the last time that we saw Hulk Hogan was in WWE 2K15, and he was the collector's edition. It was the Hulkamania edition. So will we be getting something like that this year, or will it just be a much more subtle return for Hulk Hogan? Hogan doesn't really do subtle, does he? So you know, I'm not sure he'd really go and return in that way. I think it would be a big arrival if Hulk Hogan is back in a WWE game. But this is interesting. Now, the article also as well did have an update to it. I've linked this article in the description box so you can go and check it out for yourself. But the article did say that Drake had updated on his comments. So maybe he let the cat out the bag. He confirmed something he shouldn't. 2K said, "What are you doing? Don't tell people that." But he's already done it. And this is what he said. Drake has clarified his statement on Twitter, saying he did Hogan motion capture just in case. Of course, that's what he would say if he accidentally let the cat out the bag. So he said it just in case. And actually, just to play devil's advocate, it could be a case that Hogan isn't in the game this year, but you have Hogan's entrance and things, so you can simply use those for your own custom superstars, and of course community creations, where we've seen this year in WWE 2K19 some fantastic creations of Hulk Hogan. So it could just be there to appease the fan base that want to create a realistic Hulk Hogan, and Hogan might not be in the game, but I'm leaning more towards that Drake has let something slip, because it does back up this commercial, it does back up the use of legends, and of course if the motion's in there, then that only intensifies this rumour. So what do you think about Hulk Hogan being back in a WWE game? I mean, we saw him at WrestleMania 35, so he has made his return to the WWE, so it's not quite a dramatic return to the video game, then moving towards his return to the WWE and a gradual build like that. WWE have already paved the way for his return, and so it's more than likely that he would appear in a WWE game as part of a Legends contract. So I think this is interesting news, and I want to get your views and opinions on what you think of Hulk Hogan returning to WWE games, and which version do you think we're going to get, or which versions would you like to see in WWE 2K20. Now it sounds like Eli Drake has let slip that it's an old school entrance, so that could be the World Wrestling Federation version of Hulk Hogan, but I'd like to see the NWO version of Hulk Hogan return, and then a more updated version of Hogan 2. That's one thing that I think WWE games should start thinking about now, is having current versions. Now you might say, well, why would you want a Hulk Hogan, a current day Hulk Hogan? Well, I just would. I really would. There's no particular reason, but I wouldn't mind having a bald Shawn Michaels to choose from as well. But I'm sure it comes down to the superstar, whether they want their current version involved in a WWE game, or they just want to stick with the Legends version. But I just find it interesting to have that option available. But anyway, I definitely want to see an NWO Hulk Hogan, because I'd like to have that trio of Scott Hall, Kevin Nash and Hogan, the original NWO. I'd like to get the band back together, and of course I'd like the feather boas Hogan, but with the red and the yellow. And then yes, I do think you need like the World Wrestling Federation version of Hogan too. So I'm pitching 3 versions of Hogan, but what would you like to see? Maybe a WCW version, but he looked very different in WCW, and then people are going to be saying, no, didn't he look exactly the same? But anyway, that's what I think. But let me know what you think. So I've given you some versions. I want to hear from you. What do you think about this detail from Eli Drake? And also as well, please enlighten me. Why did 2K go outside the WWE for superstars to do motion capture? I'd love to know. All that's left to be said is please rate, comment and subscribe. Hulkamania could indeed return for WWE games and 2K20. This is Delzinski signing out.